What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. The leading Hispanic voice in science fiction. Still am. All right. Head to my newsletter, which is in the description below, and you'll get a free book, free graphic novel, lots of good stuff to read. You'll enjoy it. I love giving you guys free stuff to read, and I hope you'll check it out and support awesome fiction because that's what we're about here first and foremost. I saw this thread this morning, which is by a guy named David Bowles, or however you want to pronounce whatever. He is an award-winning writer, whatever that means, a translator, an associate professor. Of course, he's a professor, a Chicano, a he/him, a pansexual, and he's of course repped by different literary agencies. So this guy's got a bit of a name for himself by being an identitarian, and that's kind of his entire claim to fame. He hasn't really done much worth note in terms of any writing that is worth it. I don't really want to go into it. I mean, we could do a whole bio on the guy, but you could tell by his profile, he's got all the boxes checked, except for Chicano. He should have been Chican-X, right? I mean, that's genderist or whatever their words are these days. So there you go. But he was complaining basically about the classics and that the classics need to be erased. And this is what they do these days. I saw another thread this morning where some guys saying that, we need to cancel Lord of the Rings and anything that white people like, basically. And that's how far they're going now. It's not enough for them to just have their own corner of things where, people don't want to read their works because they're just kind of whiny, self-insert identitarian garbage. That's not useful or interesting to anybody. But they want to force you to burn all the other books in order to try to hope that you'll pay attention to their books after that. And what they'll find when this is all finally accomplished, because I guess the culture is going this direction where they are canceling everything under the sun, is that people are not going to go read their books because of that. People are going to just tune out because if they can't have the stuff they want, the stuff they crave, the stuff that has actual value, they're just going to tune out. They're not going to just read their books just because it's there. So it is a bad strategy. And I would recommend, David, if you really want to be less angry and change things, just write better books like I do. I sell plenty well and people enjoy it. And that's why I'm the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction. There you go. But he got mad at me. And I'm saying that multiple times just because he got really mad at me in 2017. That's how I came across this guy to begin with. Because he says, I'm the only one who self-identifies as Hispanic. There are quite a very few hardworking Mexican-American Chicana OX and Latina OX in the SFF right now. Not nearly enough, but ahi vamos. So I said, I identify as XO Manowar. And so he says, don't talk shit about the rest of us. If you notice, I'm not talking anything about anyone. Someone's talking badly about me, calling me names and swearing about me. I say, I don't appreciate that. It's bizarre and disgusting. And instead of defending his Chicano LatinX brother in me, he attacks me just because he knows how I'm voting, right? And that's what it comes down to. However you vote is your identity. It doesn't matter what your actual genetics are at this point, which is really upsetting. But somebody called me the hardest working Hispanic in science fiction. Thank you, Larry Pryor. And I think I work pretty hard. So I'm very happy that somebody recognizes that I work very hard. But I was clearly not talking shit about the rest of us. I wasn't saying anything about anybody. Somebody else was saying nasty things about me. So it does show that it's just a tribal thing, and that this David guy is really just about his tribal politics at the end of the day, and trying to make everybody miserable around him, who's having a good time. People are obviously paying attention to my work and recognizing it, and saying that I work very hard, and saying that's a positive thing. It is a positive thing to work hard. And he's mad about that. That's what it comes down to. But now he's mad nobody's paying attention to his works and not putting them in the same category as, quote, the classics. So nobody with a shitty reactionary regressive take on the classics in the classroom today actually knows a thing about literacy to the point of English instruction in public schools. I don't know. When I read the classics, I know that I am actually amplifying my mind. And you can tell when you have a classic book, it really is good for the mind. When you're reading something like the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, it does get you thinking on a different plane than you'd be thinking if you were reading, say, Harry Potter, for example. And so it does help the mind function and help the mind grow. And that's something that he's not taking into account here in terms of, quote, literacy, which I guess he just wants everybody to have this like bare bones literacy where they can just get through Harry Potter and then make soy face at the end of the book. Whatever. We teach English to foster reading and writing in young people's lives. We also teach it because books have value. History has value, so we can learn from what happened in history and what great people did. Great classic works have value because those also have morals to the stories, which we can take and we can digest and actually learn and grow from. And they also have styles of writing which are in a way much better than lousy pop culture stuff or these like YA wine fests that people are into these days. All right, give them a love and ability to use the written language that will last them a lifetime. We don't need old books, y'all fools love for that. Of course not. It's always year zero with these types. You don't need anything old. We only need the new, which again just comes from the fact that this guy's bitter and not getting the accolades that he wants, and probably more so the funding that he wants for his books. And so he's bitter and wants people to stop reading old books so they can read his. And I'll say again, even if they stop reading old books, and a lot of people have stopped reading books entirely at this point to the detriment of our society, they're not going to read your books in their place. You need to get good, as it says. In fact, studies have showed repeatedly, science, that forcing kids to read work well outside of their zone of proximal development. Books have no relevance to children's lives, hampers their literacy. I disagree on this. So when I was, 10, I tried to force myself to, in between books, read something much higher than my literacy level in order to try to learn from it. And actually, taking on tasks is how you grow things. It makes sense that if you read something a little stronger, like the Plutarch or something like that, that is a really tough read, you're going to grow mentally a lot more than if you're going to be reading, say, The Hunger Games, which is a really easy read, right? You will gain more just from your knowledge of vocabulary, your knowledge of different grammatical structures, your knowledge of history, etc. It doesn't hamper whatsoever. That's a ridiculous thing. This is the participation generation talking again and saying, "Gosh, we should get there just for giving the solid try." But if you go to the gym and you're exercising other muscles, and you just if say I just went to the gym and just used say 10-pound weights to do my bicep curls, right? As a grown man. Obviously, I'm not going to develop my bicep as much as if I'm using a like 30, 40-pound weight for it. So it's hard and it's not fun to use the 30, 40-pound weight. It kind of makes it hurt after a while. And I'd rather not do it. I'd much rather do the 10-pound weight, but I'm not going to grow that way whatsoever. It's not going to hamper me to go up in weight. Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with developing the mental muscle. This is especially true with children. Of course, this is where we get to it. Communities of color with different dialects of English or different languages that may be the principal means of communicating literature that isn't even written in present-day vernacular. Target dialect consigns them to failure. So he's saying that minority kids are not capable of processing this compared to white kids. Seems racist to me, buddy. Seems racist to me. I don't believe that's the case. There is nothing, this is where he gets really deranged, all caps, nothing inherently important about your goddamn favorite classics. Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are. Have you read these books, which of course are, whatever. And he said, ones that you probably haven't read in order for him to make his point. Then shut the F up. A tiny effing sliver of the world's literature, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. I know The best literature stands the test of time, and you know what it is. I've already named a couple throughout the course of this. You can get into Mark Twain, and it's going to be better than any of these books he listed. I can tell you that right now. Oh, well. You disgusting worms! I can read in 12. Now he's doing his gamma. I'm so much smarter than all of you. I can read in 12 different languages. I have an MA. And remember how he said we didn't need to train English majors in English up in the thread? Well, now because he has an MA in English, he's better than you, and a doctorate in education. Oh gosh, can you imagine having a doctorate in education? And even think that the classics are shit for modern kids. Oh no, destroy the classics. You're not on my level. Trust me. Thank God I'm not on his level. Take a mother effing seat and leave my people alone. Remember, this whole diatribe is to tell people that they shouldn't have their kids read classic books. It is the modern day book burning. We're trying to cancel classic books that are great books. And yet he's telling people to leave his people alone, whoever his people are. Very strange. So yeah, it goes on from there. I don't need to read the rest of this. Maybe I'll do a stream just kind of fisking the rest of this because it's pretty funny. But this is insane. And this is the academic elites and where they're going. They're trying to destroy the culture. He literally states here that his intent is to destroy the culture, that we should not be paying attention to the good culture that was created, and that we need to just, I don't know what the takeaway is, read his books. And look at this, superlicious privilege and frankly racist tirades against middle grade and young adult literature. I'm sorry that Harry Potter is not a good book, David. I'm sorry. Read another one, buddy. Read another one. So there it goes. And he just keeps on going forward. Yeah, obviously we should teach children about history. We should teach children the classics. We should teach children what quality writing is that has a positive impact on our culture. We should be trying to push our culture into excellence, not into mediocrity or into everybody's different, so therefore everything is valid. That never goes well for a culture. It never helps children. It never helps people learn how to work or grow. And that's the deal here. People like David want to push mediocrity because then he can use his little degrees to show that his mediocre works are, quote, better than somebody else's, and try to use that appeal to his own authority. It's really sick if you think about it. But I'm just going to teach my children excellence, and I hope you will teach your children excellence too. Have a great day, everybody. And I hope you're having a better time than David Bowles here. All right. I still got my Indiegogo store up. So if you go to igg.me, ATJDA store, you can get all of my books and enjoy all of them. I guarantee they're a lot more fun than anything David's put out. I don't claim that these are like top tier literature or anything like that. The Oration War is pretty good. But I just try to create fun. And if you need some popcorn in between your classics, this is going to be it. Justified would trigger the heck out of David Bowles. So I can highly recommend that. You can get, I'll sign all my books for you. You can get the complete Nano Templar series here, my complete Steampunk series here, 5 books to this one, pretty good. Complete Flying Sparks people are enjoying, which is my comic book. And I don't worry about having to cancel the classics or other creators in order to sell my books. I don't need to do that. I think they stand on their own, and I think people enjoy them on their own. So have a great day and hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.